So hello and welcome to the Bold Business Podcast Show. This is Ros Jones, and today I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Lisa Shepherd, co-founder of the Biskery. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
It's so lovely. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we've heard so much about you. Can you tell us what's the Biskery?
First of all, thanks for having me, Ross. The Biskery is an online business specializing in branded and personalized biscuits. So we make biscuits for special occasions and events. They're all handmade by our team of amazing women here in Leeds. But we'd like to think that our real product is kindness. So it's really important for us that messages are spread from one person to another, and we forge human connection through our biscuits.
Fabulous. And was that your intention at the very start, or has it evolved into that?
It's definitely evolved. We started as a little market stall. Saskia and I, my co-founder, needed something after having babies and working in an office job and feeling a little bit deflated with what the future was holding for us. So we started a little side project for our love of baking and missing the flavors from home. So I'm from Germany, Saskia's from the Netherlands. But because of our digital marketing background, we quickly evolved into an online business and pivoted to the biscuit world because they could be posted, we could personalize them better. And the values came in with our rebrand and after the pandemic, really, because we sent out free biscuits during the pandemic. And that's the first time when we really saw what impact they were having on people. Just when we weren't allowed to see each other, receiving a biscuit from someone you loved and missed really made a difference to people. And we then, when we came out of the pandemic and did a big rebrand, we were like, that needs to be at the core of what we do.
Can I just rewind a bit there then? You were both working in digital marketing in an office and suddenly you've got a biscuit stall. So did you get some sort of flash of inspiration? How did that happen?
It was literally Saskia and I bonded over shared love for baking and an interest in sourdough. And we met when other people would meet on a Friday night to go to the pub. We would meet at her house or my house and just bake together because we're not big drinkers. We had little children, and that was our way to socialize and to carve out some time for ourselves. And I think we're both real doers. We're always grafting. So whilst we were baking, we were chatting and really got to know each other and really enjoyed each other's company. And then it just got out of hand. We baked so much that we couldn't eat it anymore. So we said, why don't we sell this? And Saskia actually had a little apple pie business before. So she was like, oh yeah, I know how to register with the council and which market we could sell. I was like, let's do it. I was so excited. It felt like playing. So that was the first step. And then I think after a few rainy markets and not selling anything because no one showed up, we were like, what are we doing? We could sell this online. That's what we do for our clients all day long. Biscuits are niche enough. There's a chance that people find us. It's not like selling clothes or gift cards. There's so many players in the market, whereas with the biscuit world, that there was really 2-3 other businesses that were big in that field. So we, within a year, we were ranking number 2 on Google because of the marketing work we were doing. And then the pandemic gave us the final push to quit the day jobs and move into this biscuit world.
Yeah, fabulous. So no more markets?
No more markets. No, what we do now, we have a live biscuit printing event service. So we can print people's pictures onto biscuits in real time, but we don't tend to sell them individually. What we do is we come as an extension of our client sales team. So if a big software company has an exhibition stand at the Excel in London or something, and they need an engagement tool to get more people interested in their stand, we do that. So a very different scale now. And we still like that because of the instant feedback. People eat the biscuit and they go, oh, that's nice. Or, just the smiles when the pictures appears on the biscuit. So we do still love it, but it's nice not to have that element of risk anymore with the markets, if the weather's not great or if you're next to the most popular brownie stand, so you don't sell anything.
Yeah. And so have you evolved your biscuits, or is it still the one that you set out with back at the beginning?
It's still the one. So that's very much what happened in the beginning. Saskia and I brought recipes to our little baking sessions, and I brought this biscuit recipe from a recipe folder that my granny gave me for my 25th birthday. So it's my grandma's recipe, and they've won a Great Taste Award. So she's so proud.
Yeah, what a wonderful story. That's amazing. And then what a great gift to give you, her secret recipe for the best biscuits.
I know.
That's amazing. So tell me, so you started this because you were fed up with where you were, you had kids, and this was what you found, it was the joy you discovered. How has it actually evolved in terms of your team? And I guess it's all about kindness. Is that in terms of the whole reason you go to work as well? What's that about?
Yeah, so I guess one big push for me to focus my energy on this was when I returned from maternity leave and my employer told me I could no longer be client facing. And I'm sure many women who have children and return to work there's many building blocks and hurdles in our way. And to experience that myself was a big pivot in my life, because up until then, I had really worked hard on my career, and I just didn't think that this could happen, because it was a really good company. They really looked after their people, but even for them, it's just the times we lived in. If you want to work part-time, then you can't be senior. And I was like, that is just so ludicrous, because I've not given up my skills and experience. I'm just not physically here every day of the week. So that made me kind of wake up the little rebel inside me and go, all right, if you don't want me, then I put all my ambition and energy into my own thing. So I still obviously went to work and I did a good job there. But what I really wanted to grow was our own business. And we did that until the pandemic hit, and we had established a nice little presence in the B2B world. But obviously with the pandemic, that came to a complete standstill. And at that point, we were still a home bakery. So there was no overheads. There was no offices we had to pay for, no staff. It was just Saskia and myself. So we looked at each other and said, oh, well, financially, this isn't a big problem, but we might lose momentum, and we don't want to lose momentum. So what can we do? And also, this is just quite scary times, and we want to do something. So we decided to send free biscuits out for people just to feel a bit more connected to the loved ones they couldn't see in person. And within, I think, a few weeks of doing that, the press got wind of it. And our website nearly broke because so many people wanted those free biscuits. And we had to limit it. So we said we sent, I can't remember, 100 biscuits a week or something, and that's all we could do. And everything else, people had to go to the web shop, because then we could sustain it if people actually paid for it. So people went to the web shop and bought biscuits. I think our web shop saw a 400% increase of sales, and that was all B2C. So all of a sudden, B2B was dead, but B2C was going really strong. And that was the final push for us to say, actually, if in a pandemic where so many businesses are struggling, we do well, what are we waiting for? So then we looked into the next building block, which was to hire a team, move into commercial premises. And we could only do that because we had in the previous years, so we had done this for maybe 3-4 years in the lead up to the pandemic. We had saved up, we had reinvested into the business, but we hadn't really paid ourselves much. So we had a little buffer in the bank. So we knew we had about 6 months to, pay for premises, our salaries and a team. But by then we really had to generate a bit of a pipeline. So we asked our old employer if we could move into their canteen. So I think that's another thing for women, or maybe working mums in particular, that we're quite resilient, and maybe we've experienced so much adversity, we're like, I'm just going to ask the question, because the worst thing they can say is no. So that's what we did. They said yes, £300 a month, which we could afford. And then we hired 3 members of staff, but all on a 10-hour contract. And again, they were all working mums. It suited them. They had kids. The pandemic was still sort of fizzling out. No one really knew what was happening. So it was good for them not to commit to lots of hours. And that's how we started. And I look around, so many people who are starting business and like, oh my word, how am I going to make my first hire? And Saskia and I always like, give them a part-time job. Find someone who wants to work part-time, because there's so many people out there who'd love to work, but can only give you 20 hours max. So, and then, those people grew with us. So as we grew, they increased their hours. As the children grew, they had more time to give the business. And that's what happened.
So I absolutely love that, Lisa. So the sort of trigger for you deciding to go self-employed, the fact that you were demoted, if you like, because you could only work part-time. You've actually built your business out of part-time. So it's like that is I just love that. It's some sort of, I was going to say karmic experience, but you know what I mean? It's like you are
Full circle moment, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's wonderful. So, yeah, thank you on their behalf.
And now we pass it on to our team members. So, from the beginning, but still since that first wave of hires, we've hired more people, and many of them work part-time because they have children, and we have the lived experience of people who really want a career, who want to work, who have so much to give, but you obviously have those little people that they also need them, and we want to spend time with them. So we've never seen that as a disadvantage if someone says I can only give you 20 hours.
Yeah, and I guess it's like, there's lots of people who actually don't want to work full time. You don't have to. So how nice is that? I'm a big believer in getting balance into your life. So I don't know whether it's just this country or whether it's global, but we have been indoctrinated, I think, into this idea that it's 9 to 5, 5 days a week or more than that. Mm-hmm. Lots of people work longer hours than that, I know, especially business owners. But it's just great to see that being broken, or challenged. It's not necessary. If you've got kids, that's an added driver, but some people just might want other things that they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look around us, I don't think it's working. People are broken, and it's just not working.
Well, I'm doing a bit of work on providing an antidote to burnout right now, and I've done the research. £700 million a year burnout is costing UK employers. So why not be a bit more receptive to ideas where you can actually look after the well-being of your staff rather than just keep beating them to work more hours. So you're a shining example.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what's the future? Are you global now, or are you going to are you franchise it? What's the future?
No, so we ship the biscuits UK wide, not global. Brexit has had other plans. So it's a bit complicated. We're working on it. We'd love to see our biscuits in Germany and the Netherlands and know that they've come back to the home countries one day, hopefully. Yeah. But we have nowhere near exhausted the UK market. So I feel there's more work to be done here. Our plans, we have no shiny exit plans or anything. That's not how we roll. We haven't started, or, we're not building this for a quick shiny exit. We very much want to enjoy the ride. We are learning so much. We have so many opportunities. Last week, we were invited to meet Rachel Reeves at number 10. Like all these things that you just never dream of when you're, friends, mums, biscuit bakers, and all of a sudden you meet amazing people left, right, and center. So we're just enjoying the ride, obviously doing what works best. We are, quite aware of our numbers and what works well, what's the best sort of revenue driver, biggest margin. So we're actively steering the business towards that, working hard on sort of client relationships to get more recurring clients. But there's no, crazy new plans on the horizon of see us at Tesco, or that's just not going to happen.
No, stay away from that. I need to ask the question though. Did Rachel Reeves accept free biscuits?
She did. And then she cried the next day, but it wasn't about the biscuits.
Should have given them more.
Maybe it was that. Should have created a meme.
And then just going back to the roots of this. So is there, I don't know if there's a big like expat German or Dutch contingency in Leeds or in the UK, but have they come forward to be reminded about their home biscuits?
Yeah, there is more Germans than Dutch people. I guess there's a lot more of us. But again, the opportunity there, we were invited to a reception when the ambassador came up to Leeds, the German ambassador. And, there were amazing business people in the room from Haribo, and then it was us. And, these things just make me laugh, but we were just as welcome. Yeah, so we've made biscuits for the ambassador, and we have one Christmas product, which is a traditional German biscuit. They're called Lebkuchen. They come from my hometown in Nuremberg. and the Germans are waiting for them to drop every Christmas. And the first email comes out and half of them are sold. And again, so many lovely messages of people saying these are the best Lebkuchen outside of Nuremberg, and this is the taste of home. And so those little things we'd love to do more, but it's more B2C and it's a lot harder it's a bit of a passion project. But yeah, we are definitely connecting with lots of Germans and Dutch people, and they're very grateful for our products because they remind them of home.
Yeah, fabulous. And then just finally, Lisa, if I like to ask this question. So if I'm new in business and I'm standing before you saying, Lisa, what's the best piece of advice you can give me as a new business owner, a new business startup? What would that be?
I love this quote, and I really need to look up who it's from, but it's clarity comes from action, not thought. And I think Saskia and I have always naturally had that as a little mantra because we're such doers and grafters. And I think especially women, we like to overthink things and think a bit more and write another business plan and speak to another person and get some investment, or when actually you just need to start somewhere and then refine it, because that is the reality of being an entrepreneur. You will forever refine it and change it and pivot and readjust. But if you don't start, then you don't even know what you need to adjust and refine. So I'd say if you have an idea, if something calls you, if there's this niggling little, it's not letting me go, then run with it and see where it takes you.
Yeah, I love that. And there's another, just reminded me of another little quote that I remember hearing, which is stop learning and start earning, Because we can just...
Especially for women. What did I hear again the other day? We're over-mentored and underfunded. Like how many opportunities for, mentoring here. And it's like, I just need to do the work now.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you so much. It's been an absolute joy and a privilege to speak with you today. So thank you.
Thanks for having me. I would love to offer your listeners a little discount code.
Oh, yes, please.
To try our biscuits. So if they head to our website at www.thebiskery.com, Biskery with a K, so it's a mix of biscuit and bakery, Biskery, thebiskery.com, head to our web shop and apply the discount code Bold Biskery 20 for 20% off.
Bold Biskery 20, all one word, no spaces.
All one word, yeah, all capital letters.
All capitals. Well, I would love to take advantage of that myself. Thank you so much for your generosity as well. And we'll all be claiming our discount. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross.